Gobble gobble, motherfucker. Again. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Is that like legit the tagline?
Yes,
Just gobble gobble motherfucker again.
No again. It's the same tagline as the first one.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I
Unbelievable.
legit was gonna just like yell that over top of whatever you were gonna say. But then you said it.
That's the tagline for both of them, other than boobs in the first second.
They spent all their money on that spacesuit with the like titty holes.
With the booby cutouts.
Spacesuit is perfect.
I forgot about the boob things, and then I turned it on, and I was immediately like, "Oh God, Jesus. Here we go." And I somehow have like way more notes for this movie than any movie we've ever done, and I don't know how that happened.
What are you
so
talking
we'll
about?
see.
So much nonsense happens in this movie.
Well, I
Stop.
wrote down a lot more like tagline or like quotes than I normally would have too. So
yeah, that's pretty much how the first one was. Welcome to episode 62 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan,
I'm Kit.
I'm Katie.
and this week we watched Thankskilling 3 from 2012. Maybe the craziest thing I've ever watched.
I don't think I actually watched it, to be honest.
I'm
It
still,
happened. You just sat there and it happened to you.
I'm
Yeah.
still convinced that it's just a sleep-deprived fever dream I had, and we're gonna start talking about it, and you guys are gonna be like, "That's not at all what we watched."
This is some kind of like neural implant, like Total Recall.
It's like, I don't. Katie, you never. Did you watch the first one?
I did, but I literally don't remember anything that happened except for like that he kept making Thanksgiving puns. So like
The first one is pretty much just like a straightforward kind of like slasher comedy where it's just like a turkey doing it instead of like Michael Myers or whatever. This movie is just
that's
fucking
what I thought.
bonkers.
So I don't know how did this get made?
I'm gonna get Paul Scheer and June Diane Raphael and all them on it.
Please, Paul, help us.
This is what they need to start doing for their fucking like horror episodes instead of like Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp. Fucking figure this one out.
Yeah. This or Leprechaun in the Hood.
Like, I started watching it, and I had watched like the first 15 minutes or so, like last year after we watched the first one, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna watch this, see what it's all about." Then I was like, "Nope, I will wait till we have to watch it for the podcast." And everything after Yomi is introduced, I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?" Everything just gets insane.
And there's no point to any of it, as far as I could tell.
No, like it, it's like a Guar movie with a slightly better budget. Yeah, I don't. This is gonna be a hard one to talk about because it's just fucking insane shit happening after more insane shit that just keeps piling on top of each other.
Well, also it's like this is normally when we do like normally the movies are like actual people, and these are all like creatures with like weird names, so it's like hard to be like, and then the worm, like it's so crazy.
It rules because there's two human beings in it, and then it's it's all puppets, but they're all different styles of puppet.
Right.
So like it's not even like a consistent sort of thing. It's crazy.
The cockroach with the accent is my favorite.
That's literally just like a plastic toy out of like a fucking quarter machine.
on a stick.
But also makes like cricket sounds. So no.
I will say that I feel like this movie would be good if they just had a better sense of humor.
I actually or what?
An editor.
Yeah, I think some of the dialogue parts between like the two humans, I'm just gonna say right now, Jefferson is my favorite character, and I actually
His
thought he
long
was
pike.
so funny. Huh?
With his
Yeah,
long
right.
pike.
And any of the parts that he was in, like him and like the main character, not the puppet, the human main character, Uncle Donnie, like I laughed during those parts. Like there was parts in this movie I legit laughed at and not in like this is really painful, but it just seemed like it was I don't know. It was all over the place. It was like a weird it was like a fever dream because it's like some of it's good and then some of it's just like what is happening, like what am I supposed to write down right now, like I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot happens, none of it necessarily important. It's just like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just like this, like the director had a bunch, like 300 ideas that he was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna throw them all into the same movie, it'll work out. Alright, so this movie was directed and written by Jordan Downey, who is also the voice of Turkey and like 8 other puppets in this movie.
Yeah, almost all the puppets.
It stars Daniel Usage as Uncle Donnie, Joe Hartzler as Jefferson, and then just a shit ton of people doing voices.
Including Ryan McClelland as Rim Job Rick.
Spoiler, none of these people were in Seinfeld.
Damn,
And
not even Flamethrower 1?
I
don't
feel like we were really close.
even remember Rim Job, whatever. Like, when was that?
I don't either. I don't remember that being a thing.
I was just about to say I didn't either, so
It's gotta
They
be.
made that up.
I'm
They're
really
fucking on the IMDb page.
I
I'm
wonder
really
if
scared, but I'm gonna Google it.
maybe that was like one of the skeleton turkeys in like hell talking.
Oh,
What? Who is it?
you're I don't know. Yeah, I
Oh.
was just gonna say you're right, probably.
I have regrets image searching.
Well, I was smart and I added Thankskilling to the end of it, so I haven't gotten anything weird, but I also
was
don't have an
smart.
answer.
I'm definitely not watching Rick and Morty now. I'm gonna say that.
Rick and Morty's terrible.
I mean, Guess
But
that's
After
one, guess-
looking up Rim Job Rick, definitely not.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what you're looking at right now. Fuck. All right, so this movie opens with per
Boobs.
the tagline, boobs in the very first second. But they're in space, in a spacesuit where the boobs are cut out.
which would definitely kill you, but that's fine.
is pretty genius.
Incredible visual gag.
Very mad this entire movie did not take place in space.
Yeah.
All of everything at this very beginning that's supposed to be... So I guess to set it up, it goes from Thankskilling to Thankskilling 3, and Thankskilling 2 is a movie inside this movie that was so bad that it had to be destroyed, and it is in the movie said the first and only movie ever shot entirely in space. Which is like Kit and I's dream.
Right.
I wanted to do the bit where you have an original film and then you just skip the second one and go straight to the third one and act like nothing happened.
I mean, like,
Kind of mad they beat me to it a little bit.
this is like, it's pretty funny, but I also want to see Thanksgiving 2 now. Because
Right,
the
'cause
nonsense they show you, like as what's supposed to be part of that movie,
Right.
is so ridiculous that I need to see it.
Well, my favorite part too is that like their little spaceships are like turkey basters.
I also like the title thing that comes up, that it's a space film by Cranberry Man.
Cranberryman.
The greatest director of our time.
Yes. And like the other character in it is Captain Pie-Let, who is
And
a
he's
pumpkin
literally
pie.
a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, you just get like this quick 5-minute nonsense of them in space, and that's supposed to be like what you see from Thanksgiving 2. And then like the credits happen, and it's just people burning a pile of Thankskilling 2 DVDs.
But they're like, it was like such a weird scene because it's like, first of all, you get like a montage of the dump truck like driving through the desert, and there's like weird EDM playing the whole time.
That happens a lot.
I know. It was
rules.
that's the part I think to me that was like most off-putting because it was just like these really long sequences of like the same thing happening but like shot from different angles and then like flashing lights and like dance and EDM and stuff and I was like, what? And they're wearing like gas masks and stuff.
Yeah, these are poisonous movies. Right after the credits, you just see like some sort of spaceship crash where you were introduced to Muff and Rhonda Worm.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Maybe the most bonkers character in this whole movie somehow.
Rhonda?
On both of them.
Certainly, they have the most bonkers scene in the movie.
Yes. They basically like crash land and just have this sort of dialogue about, I guess, trying to find Turkey or some shit. And then you
also just sorry, just to like paint everyone a picture, if you haven't seen this, the worm, Rhonda, is like a balding worm. He's got like a comb over and like a weird mustache and like googly eyes, and that is the worm.
It's also just not a puppet because the mouth doesn't move. It's just like a worm statue that they put like googly eyes on and like some hair.
And then they just like move him around with a stick and go when he like runs around.
And then Muff is like a human in this giant like weird black Cthulhu mouth fucking suit.
He kind of reminded me of like Zoom from The Flash.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would say like sad Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Evil Iron Giant. They say later that Muff stands for Mechanical Uber Friendly Friend.
I missed that.
They say it
So
in like
did I.
they say it like in the middle of some dialogue, in the middle of like a speech or some shit later on. That like I heard that and I was like, wait, I think that's what Muff stands for. The friendly friend is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, this was another one where there was no subtitles, so a lot of the dialogue completely lost me. I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
It's like most of it doesn't matter or like makes zero sense, and then just puns for the rest of it. So
accurate.
So you cut to Turkey at home, who I think was jerking off, maybe.
That was my first inclination, but I'm not sure.
Doing something in his crotch area and then smells his feathers. And this whole scene is set up as like a sitcom because there's like crowd laughter.
Yeah. That's our Seinfeld connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nibla was in Seinfeld. You were also introduced to Miss Turkey, his wife, and his son Nibla.
His dumb bastard son who I hate.
He's also like, so like Turkey and Mrs. Turkey and like the other turkeys are like pretty detailed puppets. And then Nibla's just like a fucking like styrofoam with like fake crab feathers like attached to him, and his mouth doesn't move, and he also has a googly eye, so I guess
his head is made of like pipe cleaners.
He's also just like on, like, you see the sticks it's on.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's because when he comes into the scene, he's like super high up in the sky, and I was like, what is this all about? It's real stupid.
Oh, poor baby Nibla.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a scene where Miss Turkey, like, bird feeds Nibla, and it's gross. And just, like,
She just
throws
like
up all over
throws
it.
up for like an extended period of time, and he's just like, "Oh, oh, this tastes like shit. This isn't a cake.
It, and then, like, Turkey's just sitting on the couch doing his best, like, Bob from Bob Burgers impression, where he's just, like, groaning and not into it at all.
Oh yeah, he goes fucking gross.
And then there's some gross spousal abuse joke from Nibla.
Yeah.
And then you see a commercial with Uncle Donnie for the Pluckmaster 3000, which Nibla says is like the hot new toy all the kids are talking about, which is literally just like a microwave that'll pluck and cook a turkey.
Which seems weird because he is a turkey.
Yeah. It also seems weird that would be the hot toy kids want to play with. And then they get a news story, news with a Z, about the Thankskilling 2 being shelved and destroyed so no one will ever see it. And this is when they say that it's the first ever movie filmed entirely in space. Turkey is very upset about this. And Miss Turkey says something about how she knew it was being shelved because his, like, agent called and told her about it. So he immediately cuts her in half. After she says that she will gobble his balls to make up for it.
God damn it.
I don't.
It's hard to pick like worst pun in this film.
It really is.
That one's up there, I think.
I can tell you the best pun is when he just says gravy instead of groovy later.
Oh yeah, that
Yes.
was actually, I liked that scene.
I don't even remember what this was. I think it was some sort of commercial on the TV for Kat Steinberg, attorney at law.
Yeah.
I just have that written down, and I don't remember what it was in reference to. And then basically Turkey and Nibla go off, where Turkey's going to teach Nibla how to be evil and go find this movie.
He's like, he's like, oh, I'll be mean with you.
It's so weird. And then you cut to Yumi or Yomi. It's pronounced Yomi, but it's spelled Yumi, so I'm going to say it wrong probably every time I see it in my notes. She is in a dumpster. We should also say she is just a Muppet, basically. Like, she looks like she was made by, like, Jim Henson's Muppet Factory or whatever.
She's also, like, naked. She doesn't have any clothes.
I mean, she's dressed like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, except she's got, like, crazy... Like, they actually gave her face, like, a lot of detail, because she's got, like, makeup on, she's got, like, freckles, and she has, like, black and, like, pink striped hair, so she's, like... pretty detailed.
Whatever is going on with what I guess is supposed to be her eye makeup is like they're uneven, and it drives me fucking crazy.
That's legit winged eyeliner.
It's like it is, because it's like pieces of fabric coming off her face.
What every like Instagram makeup person wishes they could do with their eyes.
Like, pretty much.
True winged makeup. Her whole story is that she's lost her mind and she's trying to find it, which I do not understand any of whatsoever. Like, even to the end of the movie, I was like, I don't understand what any of this is about. But I
don't either. And her mind also, like,
looks like a vagina, or like a uterus, basically. Not uterus, but the whole, like, it's shaped, and it has the arms, like when you see like a
fallopian tubes.
Yeah, like
it's like so weird
thing.
It's not a brain, just so everyone. It's like a puppet also, for some reason.
Yes, everybody except Uncle Donnie and Jefferson in this movie is some sort of puppet, so, or a talking piece of machinery of some sort. But Yomi is in a dumpster, talking to herself, and awakens Greg Garbage, who is just a garbage bag with eyes, basically.
You.
Pretty much how I feel 90% of the time. I don't remember anything that happens in this scene except for the weird Meowware animated scene.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember from that Like, I forgot it happened, except for a line in the song where someone sings about anal kisses or something,
Oh,
and
I missed that.
it's the, like, cartoon cat, like, flying into a gigantic asshole.
Yeah, everything that the cats are. So it's a cartoon, and it's like cats singing, and it's called Meowmer. And all of the cats have like very disgusting names. Like I didn't even write any of them down. I literally wrote cat cartoon and singing is gross. And like
I did like
I don't.
so like on IMDb, it just had like one person credited where it was just like the name of the show as like what they voiced. So I guess they did all of them. I didn't even catch
All
like
of them.
any of them having names.
Yeah, they were really gross. I'm trying to remember one of them. And then there was like something about like crabs and licking bushes and stuff. It was really gross. But so like that cat character is on her backpack. I'm not really sure like what that has to do with anything.
I don't think it does. I think it was just a idea. They were just like, well, we got a bunch of Kickstarter money. Let's just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Let's just make a cartoon, a gross cartoon.
It,
Yeah.
honestly, like, is kind of surprising the amount of production this movie has, considering I think it was like $100,000.
Wow.
Like, they'd had like I guess as of the point, I'm sure like obviously it's probably been beaten at this point, but at the time of like this movie being made, it was like the highest rated or highest amount earned for like a horror movie on Kickstarter.
Oh, wow.
But
Right at the box office, it says it made 112,000.
well, they made a profit at least. Well, probably not, because they probably didn't spend that kind of probably more on that just to like promote it and shit. But
Ew. One of the plot keywords is sexploitation.
I mean,
Not what you
I don't-
expect in your turkey film.
because I don't remember. I guess sort of a sex thing happens with Rhonda Worm and Muff later, but it's like the only thing I can remember. But I don't know. There's a bunch of shit that happens in this dumpster that ends up with Greg Garbage coughing up the final copy of Thankskilling 2 DVD on Yomi. God damn it. I'm going to say it wrong every
Yormi.
time. Yormi. Yanni.
Yumly.
I just wish this was Yanni. The whole movie.
Yeah. Change it every time you say it.
Yeah. Eventually, Uncle Donnie comes like walking down the stairs behind the dumpster, and Yomi and Uncle Donnie have a weird back and forth about his wig and some other shit. At some point, he goes to leave, and Yomi sees a flyer with him on it that says that the Pluckmaster 3000 will give you peace of mind, which is what she's looking for. So she follows him, and Uncle Donnie agrees to take her home and show her Thanksgiving, which is also weird.
Yeah.
Then you cut to Turkey and Nibla flying on Big Seagull Taxi.
Named Joffrey.
They have a fucking dumb back and forth about like where the seagull just keeps bragging about how it could fly and like how terrible it must be to be a turkey because you can't.
And you can't shit on people
Yeah.
from the sky.
And like,
The worst part, to be honest.
yeah,
I mean,
it seems like it'd be pretty fun. Just gonna let that silence sit there for a minute.
Let everyone ruminate on how
Yeah.
much they want to shit on someone from above.
Just shit on your worst enemy's car from a fucking tree.
from a tree.
So, Nibla is talking to, I guess, Turkey's agent that says he can't get them a copy and that the last copy was thrown in the trash. So Turkey pushes Nibla off this seagull, Nibla just smashes into a pile of gore on the street, but is also still alive. So, and then, like, Turkey just goes, like, flying down, and there is a censored bar on the screen that I guess is supposed to be his dick.
Yeah, sure is.
It's
Pretty big too. There's like multiple sensor bars.
Weird because I don't know, it's like in a weird position that I could not figure out if that's what it's supposed to be or if there's just some other joke I was missing, but
I mean, I haven't really seen a turkey penis, but
Kit, let's get Pat on here.
It's
Right?
it's one that I have not Googled yet.
Just as soon as Pat brings it up the next time, he's like, "What did you guys watch?" You could be like, "Thankskilling 3." Also,
Turkey dick.
Turkey.
Nope, I have regrets.
Oh no! Is it accurate?
Is it extremely long, and is there multiple sensor bars?
And have digits.
It's extremely long.
Oh,
Gross.
alright. Well. I want to know who got paid to do like the research for the movie.
I mean, Jordan Downey directed and wrote, I think, all of it, except for I think he had like help with some of the songs. Somebody like co-wrote. So for some reason, Turkey does some sort of a spell that sends Nibla's soul out to go fucking fly into this fucking DVD. This is about the point that like I stopped watching originally, and I was just kind of like, I don't know where this is gonna go, and I was not prepared for where any of it goes.
Mm-mm.
Somehow only gets weirder, which
You
doesn't make any sense
are
to me.
immediately introduced to Flois, the best character of the whole movie. Who literally, like, if anybody has seen the Gwar movie they made for like the America Must Be Destroyed movie, that's got like the granny that's in like the motorized fucking monster truck wheelchair, she pretty much looks just like that, except she's an old lady rapper, so she's got like weird, what I guess these white people think rappers dress like clothes, and a sticker on her wheelchair that says "Gilfin ain't easy."
She also has like, I assume it's like some kind of feeding bag, but she's got like a 40 like hooked up to it. And she's drinking.
Oh my god, it's so stupid. Her character is ridiculous and pretty much just talks about fucking dudes constantly, and is constantly smelling her fingers.
Ugh.
And like, I don't know, all of her stuff where she's just like arguing with Jefferson, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, their back and forth is pretty funny.
Because Jefferson is a ridiculous character. We should state that Jefferson and Uncle Donnie are just dressed up as like essentially like George Washington, where they have like the powdered wigs and are wearing like clothes from like the 1700s.
But then, oh well, maybe it's just the grandma is saying that they look like pilgrims, but they're like, it still doesn't make any sense when you find out why they're dressed up like that.
Yeah, there's really no explanation other than that they're trying to open a theme park called Thanksgiving Land. But it's like they're not dressed up as pilgrims. Like they look like George Washington. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jefferson and Flois have this just arguing back and forth until Uncle Donnie and Yomi show up. Nibla's soul immediately flies into the DVD in Yomi's backpack.
My favorite part like of this when they come home is that Jefferson yells security, and then he like runs in there and sees Yomi and is like, what are you supposed to be?
Very good question. Honestly, the best question anybody asked in this whole movie. Like this whole everything in this scene is just ridiculous. Like this fucking cockroach we talked about earlier, like, tells Yomi that he saw her mind in the fireplace, which I guess comes back later, but...
And they call it an oven, which is, like, weird, because it's, like, literally one of those, like stoves that you put, like, blocks of wood in to heat your house, so I'm not really sure.
All of it is real weird. At some point, Jefferson is talking about all of the stuff they're going to have at Thanksgiving Land, which is a gravy train, a yam tram, and a maze.
God damn it. The maze.
It's fucking pretty funny.
Didn't he say that the maze is going to be amazing?
Probably. I had to, like, purposefully just avoid quotes because it was just like there's so many fucking puns.
Every other thing.
It already took me almost 2.5 hours to get through this movie just like taking notes. I can't even imagine if I tried to take quotes and shit.
That's too much Thankskilling.
Oh, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yam tram.
Then he's talking about maybe this is later. He's talking about the like gravy lazy river.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a little bit in this scene. I did write any of that down, but he's like giving this speech, and he's just like, and everybody just don't dip your food in the like gravy lazy river because you're gonna be tempted to, but don't do it.
It goes on for forever. It's like a monologue.
His like popping back up into the scenes later in the movie.
Oh my
legitimately
God.
made me laugh.
Me too.
So Nibla is now like in the Thankskilling 2 DVD, which they turned into a puppet where it's just the DVD, but there's like a little puppet turkey head that pops out of the cover.
It's kind of cute.
That's actually pretty funny.
That should have been the collector's edition for like the DVD version of this.
I
right?
legitimately thought I would pay money to just have that on my shelf.
They're really missing out if they didn't do that. Because they have. Never mind.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say because they do like versions of the Evil Dead where they have that weird like book.
Yeah, like the
that has like the
and
weird
stuff.
skin. Whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like something like a high Kickstarter like tier where somebody probably won like one of those puppets or whatever.
Oh, I did write down a quote. He says, "You can't be dipping your nacho chips in the gravy." I don't know why, but that one made me laugh. When he's talking about like the when he's talking about the
chips.
That's what I'm saying.
Nacho
Like,
chips. Thanksgiving land.
I'm gonna try that and see if it's good.
and you gotta wait in line. Pilgrims are notorious line waiters.
I do. I do remember that.
The best line in the film.
So
Then I also wrote, his mom is gonna slob knob Jesus. I'm not really sure what that's about. But...
I mean, she's constantly talking about like sucking dick, so like I don't know, it fits her character. Good old Flois. So Turkey is essentially using Nibla's soul to find this DVD. You get Thankskilling 2 DVD vision, which I'm always on board with seeing the vision of something in a movie. I think possibly my favorite joke in the entire movie is Uncle Donnie like goes to deliver a line, but he wants the Thanksgiving land sign turned on, and Jefferson is using his long pike, which is just a stick with a butter knife on it that he's using to try to turn on the light switch, and he keeps missing, and they shoot it for a solid like minute and a half.
It's so funny. And the whole time he's like, just get it.
He's
It's
like,
hard because you can't just get it up
Hold on.
there.
Just wait a second.
He's got like an extra like 4 feet of pike that he could easily like scoot it up, and he's just like a centimeter off the whole time. Like I just can't get it.
I'm a big fan of that comedy of like the longer it goes, the funnier it gets. So like the longer this fucking scene kept going, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I thought that's why I think he's my favorite character, because I thought his like dialogue and his bits are just like actually funny.
I don't exactly remember how this came about, but I just have the note catheter milkshake, which is something that Flois threatens.
Yeah. Flois threatens to throw it at someone.
I think Jefferson.
Yeah.
What? How did she make it a milkshake?
I mean, I guess you just put it in a blender.
I don't like that.
Throw in an Arby's sandwich. Get some meat shake in there.
Yes. As
Make it some
beefacino.
Starbies.
That's right.
I think meat shake is just gonna have to become our new ongoing joke since Seinfeld is not happening.
I'm gonna make
Start doing fake ads for it.
Oh, I'm gonna cut that out so we can just do that at one point. We got a sponsor this week.
this episode is brought to you by the new beefacino.
That's the worst word I've ever heard. So you get a quick monologue from Flois about how she became a rapper because all of her shows on TV ended or something, and she started watching BET all day.
Oh, because they didn't pay the cable bill or something. So all they had was BET.
Which I'm pretty sure is a cable channel.
Right.
She also like drives off and unveils the Pluckmaster 1, which is this giant fucking piece of machinery that I guess was like the prototype that 2,999 other Pluckmasters came from. But this thing can also talk and has like sentience, so that's a thing.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good first run.
I mean, it works. I don't know why he didn't just bark at that.
Can't imagine how much better the 3000 is.
Well, 3000's a toy, so I'm not sure how he went from like a real one to a toy.
I don't even think it's a toy. I think it's like a real thing, and then just kids for some reason like think it's like an easy bake oven kind of thing, maybe.
Wow.
But I mean, it's pitched on like the commercial you see as like it's an actual oven. So
Oh, I guess he does say it can cut through trees. Well, it's confusing because
no, that's like if you order now, you also get this
Oh.
carving knife that could like cut through a tree.
cut through trees. That's right. It's just confusing because Nibla has one of them, and it like is a toy. So maybe that's why I got confused.
It all doesn't even matter at all to like the plot of this movie.
No, it really doesn't.
Uncle Donnie freaks out about the Pluckmaster 1. I mean, I guess you find out why, but not really. He just, I guess, is ashamed about it for some reason. You get a knock at the door that Jefferson thinks his real long pike is being delivered, and you get like this fantasy of him like floating towards the door at this long pike, and then you hard cut to his entire body being torn apart. Turkey has showed up and just murdered the shit out of Jefferson.
Very violently.
Yeah, and it was like so sudden too.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking genius edit where it's just like he like turns around and says something and blood comes out of his mouth, and you just like it just cuts like immediately to just his body just torn to shreds.
He says Thanksgiving just got fucked.
Glad. I think he also I think one of the only quotes I wrote down where he says looks like he just quit life cold turkey. God damn it, this movie rules. I think this is the point though that you find out that Nibla has become the actual DVD. Like he just like pops out of the fucking backpack and Turkey gets him. And they kind of...
I wrote, Nibla is the DVD now.
That should have been the fucking tagline of this movie. Just it made zero sense until you watch it. I don't know. There's this like weird back and forth between like Turkey and the like I guess Yomi, Flois, and Uncle Donnie, and then just this fucking pantry opens where Yomi, Flois, and Uncle Donnie with Nibla go running through it, and then the door shuts and Turkey can't get inside. And just like this is like at the point where at least for me it cut to a commercial and I was just like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like this pantry just leads to basically a fucking forest. But you get another quick scene of like Muff and Rhonda Worm wandering the desert where they call Nerd Worm back on their home planet.
As one does.
To get directions to find Turkey. And they have this like back and forth about how Nerdworm made Muff, and all of this fucking dialogue about Mandy Moore for some reason.
Yeah.
Like Muff was just programmed like to the only music that Muff likes is Mandy Moore, and like there's all of this weird like Wikipedia kind of reading dialogue about Mandy Moore that makes no sense. Just like thrown in. It's real weird.
Yeah, it's like It's weird because Rhonda keeps like mispronouncing words, you think, but then when someone's like, "Oh, do you mean this?" He's like, "No," and then he just like says some weird pun that has nothing to do with anything. It's like so bizarre.
I can't believe this is a real movie.
Me either. I can't believe we're talking about it.
So Nerdworm sends Rhonda Worm the coordinates for Thankskilling 2, the DVD, which is a sentence I just had to say. And you cut back to Yomi, Uncle Donnie, and Flois walking around this forest. I think Uncle Donnie is just kind of complaining, and Flois just yells at him.
She was rapping Jefferson's obituary.
Oh my god.
Or, I'm sorry, his eulogy.
Pouring out for Jefferson, everyone.
Yep, R.I.P.
That's right.
Always
Drink.
in our hearts.
Gone but not forgotten.
See you at the crossroads. Uncle Donnie is telling a story about how wolves ate his family because of the Pluckmaster one.
Because of the Murphy's stuffing, that the thing like stuffs the turkeys with stuffing also. I wrote stuffing with a side of wife and child.
I have a couple notes that I had to put a question mark at the end because I was like, am I understanding this right?
I wrote, I don't understand how it's the machine's fault. He's basically like, the machine had this stuffing in it, and I sent my wife and my daughter into the woods, but wolves also love Murphy's stuffing. And I was like, how is that I don't understand. I don't know.
It's so stupid. They are immediately cut off on their walking path by Wise Turkey, who I can only guess is basically is just an old version of regular turkey in a cloak, who also has two baby birds on his staff because he forgot he had to babysit.
I actually laughed out loud at that part because it was so random. He was just like, "Why are there birds here?" And he's like, "Oh, I forgot. I had to babysit. I couldn't get out of it."
Not that wise.
He tells the group that they are at the entrance to Featherworld, which is essentially heaven for turkeys. He sees Yomi and is immediately taken aback by her and tells her that she's special and that her being on Earth means someone believes in her. I don't.
All right.
I don't know if that's ever fucking expanded upon, but
I hope not.
You find out that she's spoiler, puppets are actually aliens from space.
And they're based on her. She was
Yeah.
the first. But right.
You don't.
But,
I don't know
it
what the
doesn't make any
someone
sense.
believes in her thing is, but either way, he tells
I guess it's Uncle Donnie.
Uncle Donnie's the worst.
The fact that we're just talking about a movie where someone's name is Uncle Donnie just is cracking me up.
Whose uncle is he? Do we know?
I mean,
No.
I'm guessing he's Jefferson's brother.
He's
But
uncle to all
I
the
can't
children.
imagine Jefferson has kids.
A guy who's buying long pikes does not have children.
No.
God, I want a long pike now. I'm gonna just make one. That's what I'm gonna be for Halloween next year. So I'm just gonna be Jefferson.
Oh my god, yes.
There's gonna be
Rhonda.
one person that's gonna get it, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
It's gonna be 3. It's gonna be you two, and then the fucking director of the movie. So Wise Turkey just tells a story about how Turkey turned evil. He also gives Yomi a wishbone that will guide her in her quest, and tells Uncle Donnie that he must protect her. And then he just disappears. And at this point, I don't even know what the fuck is happening, where they get transported back to the house and it just turns into a fucking LSD nightmare. Turkey.
Oh, one of my favorite parts. Sorry, one of my favorite parts is when they get transported back. Yomi's or Yumi. Jeez, no, Yomi. fuck.
That's
Yomi's
Yomi.
like, "Are you
You get
okay?"
everyone up.
And Uncle Donnie's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And she's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She's like, "Out of 10, like how okay are you?" And he's like, "I'm like a 9 out of 10, okay." And I was like, "What is happening?"
Nothing about this movie is a 9 out of 10. So,
Mm.
they're back in the house, where, as far as I could tell, Turkey is hypnotizing Yomi, and like talking about ending the curse of Thanksgiving, and it just turns into like this 70s like music video with just like hard like EDM music playing, and then just
Yeah,
like
and like
all of that
weird like laser disco lights.
yeah, it's like all of that shit you see, and like it's like it looks like the fucking filters they use for like natural born killers in that movie sometimes. It's real strange. And it lasts a long time.
Yes, it does.
But essentially, Turkey gets the DVD and says it will be rice to kill you, which is the worst pun in the movie, because who eats rice at Thanksgiving?
I was literally gonna say that. Although, okay, quick side note. Do Nathan, you might remember me freaking out about this, so I know your answer. But Kit, was mac and cheese a part of your Thanksgiving dinner?
No.
Okay, thank you. I found out like recently, like last year, the year before last, that like apparently mac and cheese is like a big part of people's Thanksgivings, and I think it might be like a southern thing
I
because I had never
Yeah,
heard of it. But then a bunch of people were like, "Yeah, obviously, you're stupid. You didn't have mac and cheese." And I was like, "I have never heard of this in my life," and I like freaked out.
I think maybe the only time I've ever had it where I was like, because like my dad's side of the family would have get-togethers for Thanksgiving where there would be like 40 people, so I think it was just like a way to have just more options.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever had it other than maybe that. I know
I just had never heard
don't
of
think
it.
it's ever been like a thing I've been like associated with Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, me neither. So, listeners, let us know. Do you have things like
I mean, I would
I
eat it because
love
mac and cheese rules, so...
Yeah, me too. I freaking love mac and cheese, but it's just like one of those things where like I don't know, my reality is that it's not a part of Thanksgiving, and then I just like met someone else who was like acting like I was insane for not having mac and cheese, and so then it just became like a thing where like most of the people I put up like polls and stuff because I was like probably drunk, but most of the people still did say no, they did not have mac and cheese, but it's like so interesting to me. I don't know, like it's weird.
Let us know who the weirdos are.
It just,
the
like-
Mac people or the non-Mac people.
Like,
Also, if you have rice, I want an explanation.
it
Do you put the rice in your mac and cheese?
just goes in the mashed potatoes.
Ew, no,
All mixed together.
Like, I can, like, mac and cheese...
rice pudding maybe.
Mac and cheese would, like,
Rack cheese.
work with turkey, but, like, almost nothing else. Like, mac and cheese with just, like, a side of mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes just sounds terrible.
Yeah, I feel like Thanksgiving, unless you're having like a cheese plate for appetizers, like I really don't. Cheese is like not a part of a lot of it. Some people do have cheese with apple pie.
Ew, what? No.
Yeah,
That's...
cheese and apples go together. But I'm just saying,
Mm.
cheese is not really like. I don't know. Anyway,
I
sorry.
just had a great idea. Let's
Yes.
get like the melted cheese for mac and cheese, and hollow out the center of an apple and inject the melted cheese inside of the
So
apple.
you get a steaming hot mouthful of cheese when you bite into it.
Yeah,
And then
that
just
can be treats for everyone during Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's like, I'm gonna cut all this out. We're just make maple cheese. Trademark. I hope you suffer.
I like the fried macaroni balls,
Yeah.
but you're just putting macaroni inside of a fucking apple.
we can just put it on top of our meatachino.
All
Oh,
of
beefachino.
all of this sounds.
Oh, there we go.
Anyways. Sorry.
All right. I hope you suffer, but why? We just end right in the middle of the episode.
Out because of fucking maple cheese.
Can't wait to just put that like as the fucking description of the episode. I'm just gonna put like this week we stand maple cheese.
We stand maple cheese.
So Muff and Rhonda Worm show up at this point and stop Turkey from leaving. Turkey. It is revealed that Turkey and Rhonda Worm apparently fucked and had a baby, which doesn't make sense with the realization that comes up later.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, Turkey's just threatening everybody, and there's just like a bunch of back and forth of just like, who the fuck are all these characters? Uncle Donnie eventually just gets tired of whatever's happening and turns on the Pluckmaster 1, which sucks in Turkey, and you get this long ass like moving shot of Turkey going through the Pluckmaster 1 and just like yelling out everything that's happening basically. And he is shot out of the Pluckmaster 1 and out the window, a bloody mess. The Pluckmaster 1 then yells at Donnie about shutting him off for 10 years, and they almost fight each other somehow. Or no, wait, no, the Pluckmaster 1 essentially like eggs on Donnie about fighting Muff, I think. Because like Muff was like trying, it was like the one trying to like stop Turkey, and Donnie was just kind of not having any part of it. It doesn't matter, it's just fucking stupid, all of it.
Yeah, I don't really know what was happening because I just wrote Donnie put hairspray on his wig, Pluckmaster is mad. Worm. Oh, Rhonda is like giving some kind of monologue, and I wrote Muff has floppy legs? ?
Oh no, that's in a minute when he's like upside down when they do the vortex, which.
Well, no, he like goes walking into the kitchen or something, and they show just like the bottom of him, and his legs are just like, it's like if Muff was a person in like a robot suit, and then the person was out of it, and they were just like dangling it on the floor, and it was just like floppy legs, and I was like, what the fuck?
He's supposed to be like a robot, but it's just like a person with just like a foam latex suit over them, basically.
And then it's like as if they shot the scene, but the guy who was supposed to play the robot like wasn't there, so they just like dangled the suit. I don't know.
At some point, Rhonda Worm makes a 2 worms, 1 cup joke.
Everything he says is so gross.
And he so spoiler, it is revealed later that Rhonda Worm is actually a gay man.
That's what I thought the whole time, so that was not confusing to me.
But Rhonda tells a story about how like they were in Thankskilling 2 and that they fucked Turkey during filming, and Turkey put a curse into all of the shots while filming it that when it is played, it will curse anyone that watches it. This is when you find out that Muff stands for Mechanical Uber Friendly Friend.
Oh.
Still a very good name. Rhonda wants to use... God damn it. So, Rhonda tells them that they can use Muff to transport Nibla into space, where the curse was originally set that will destroy the DVD, and like the curse will be stopped. And so Muff has to lay down on his back with his legs up in the air to have the vortex come out of his butthole, which Rhonda uses her tail to fuck. And
gotta make sure that sphincter is nice and loose.
It's all
Muff diving.
all terrible.
You can't just skip over the muff diving joke.
Muff also has a key code on the back of his leg, which seems like an improbable spot for that.
This part made me laugh actually really
that
hard.
Rhonda Worm has to enter the password, which is $9,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,999,9
9s, but I fully trust you.
I counted. It was 39s.
Jesus.
Everything about this scene is the worst. But you then cut to what is maybe my favorite scene of the whole movie, where Turkey, is outside, is still alive, awakens a bunch of skeleton turkeys to rebuild him, where after they rebuild him, they tell him that his dick was replaced. They couldn't find it.
They lost his dick.
So they replace it with a chainsaw, which cuts from... He has a chainsaw for a dick now that then, like, this shot cuts from, like, up in the sky and just zooms in close to his face, and he just goes, gravy.
It is a pretty good scene.
Pretty fucking funny.
And he goes,
I
let's
love
go get some drinks and then kill a bunch of motherfuckers.
This is 100% something that, like, I would have half drunkenly come up with in my head and been like, this shit is gold. And then just realized, like, no one else would find it fucking funny.
I feel like this whole movie was just written around that scene. Just that simple joke.
I would put money on that's true.
I wish this whole movie was just Army of Darkness, but with turkey instead of
But
Bruce
with turkeys.
Campbell.
I'd watch it.
Somebody just do that, where you just replace all of Bruce Campbell and Army of Darkness with turkey from this movie. So everybody, they're still trying to, like, get this vortex working properly, and, like, Turkey starts cutting his way into the house. I don't remember. He says something about string cheese, which immediately cuts to a weird animated commercial for string cheese.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand any of it. I don't remember what he says about string cheese that leads to it, but I think he just literally, like, leans in the fucking, like, where he cut through the house and just says something about string cheese as if he's, like, Jack Torrance. It's just real weird.
Here's string cheese.
I mean, string cheese comes up as a joke later, and, like, it just, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Turkey just basically comes in, and, like, Flois starts saying shit to him, and he just mouth fucks her with his chainsaw dick. What cuts to, again, one of the other best jokes in the movie, which is Jefferson from heaven, like, like, welcoming people to heaven as the fucking security for heaven.
God is ready for his slob knob.
Yeah. God damn it, Jefferson rules.
He does. We stand Jefferson.
Turkey then tastes Flois's blood and says that's some good cranberry sauce.
God damn it.
At this point, all of the skeleton turkeys start coming into the house, and Muff gets up and starts, like, blasting him away with his, like, arm cannon during this, like, where he's also got a fucking weird techno light show coming out of his eyes.
I mean, if you're gonna build a robot, like, are you not gonna make a sweet laser show come out of his eyes?
Why was it not Mandy Moore?
Because they could not get the rights
That's
to
a
that.
better question.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been so funny,
Could
though.
you even imagine being, like, Mandy Moore's publicist and you get, like, Thankskilling
Request
3.
from the Thankskilling 3 crew.
I mean, what is she even doing now?
She was
it's
in
fine.
47 meters down, like, whatever, like, a couple years ago when that came out.
Oh, was she really? I'm trying to think of, like, I don't even know what one of her songs is.
Candy was her first big one, I think.
But I don't remember how that goes.
Candy, candy, candy.
I want candy.
I don't... No.
Yeah, I know she had, like, a couple hits, but I think she mostly just does, like, acting shit now. All I ever think about her, though, is from, like, her guest spot on Scrubs.
Oh, well, she was in a movie with she was in a movie called Saved
Yeah, that movie's good.
Yeah.
with Macaulay Culkin. That if you guys, not you, but if people watching have not seen that movie, you should go watch it because it's amazing. But that's all I know her from. Not that's not all I know her from. I just can't think of any of her songs.
Yeah, Mandy Moore's not in this movie, but she should be. So shame on her for not being in it.
Mandy Moore being the Thankskilling sequel.
Yes, even though they haven't made one in, what, 7 years now.
Listen,
That's
if
fine.
we can get her to sign on, I think we could make it happen.
I mean, just fucking...
Yeah.
Fuck the Snyder Cut. Quit bitching about releasing the Snyder Cut. Release Thankskilling 2.
Yeah.
I need to see this goddamn space movie. You know Leprechaun's in that fucking movie at some point, so...
Oh my god, that's a crossover I didn't realize I needed.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. So they're all fighting, and at some point, Turkey cuts off Yomi's hand, and like Turkey and Nibla just jump into the fireplace, which apparently leads to Turkey Hell for reasons. They all realize now, like Rhonda Worm and Uncle Donnie realize that Yomi is dead, and Rhonda Worm tells Uncle Donnie that she just needs a hand, in quotes, and that puppets are based on creatures from space. This is where you find out she was like the first one or whatever. Essentially, Uncle Donnie has to put his hand in the hole in the bottom of Yomi, which he does not want to do. And essentially, like, he just does that, and she comes back to life. But she is now missing her hand for the rest of the movie. Lost opportunity to also give her a chainsaw.
Oh man, could have had a sweet chainsaw fight,
Just a fucking
which is a thing every movie needs.
felt chainsaw would have been amazing.
Yes.
So Yomi says that she has saw her mind in the fireplace and that Turkey has it. They all decide that they're going to go in after Turkey, but Uncle Donnie and Muff won't fit, so Yomi and Rhonda Worm have to go in by themselves, and hard laugh at, again, like the first movie, where Yomi and Rhonda Worm are dressed up as turkeys with just essentially turkey noses on, but nobody in Turkey Hell notices. They just think
Okay,
they're
but-
turkeys.
There's also like the Worm is talking about going in there and he's just like a hot dog for a scene.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that
Like,
was
what
about.
the fuck? Like a hot dog with googly eyes.
Like, there's this, like, little bit of dialogue of, like, Muff not being comfortable with Rhonda, like, being on someone else's shoulder, because they're, like, a couple, I guess, and, like Rhonda's, like, delivering this dialogue about how, like, Muff is the only one for her, but it's like she turns into a hot dog for some reason for, like, one shot. It's just real weird.
yeah.
Jordan, tweet at us. Tell us what that joke was about.
Yeah.
I need to know about the hot dog.
There's also, like, once they get... So basically, Yomi and Rhonda go into hell. They have on just the nose of a turkey, like the beak. And nobody in Turkey Hell realizes they're not turkeys.
That's
Perfect
right.
disguises.
It's still, like, my favorite joke in the first Thankskilling. It's still maybe one of my favorite jokes in any movie, is that Turkey wears, like, a girl's dad's face, and she doesn't realize that it's not her dad. It's a pretty fucking good joke. So they're walking through Turkey Hell, and I don't understand the point of this joke, but at some point, Rhonda says, "This creeps really gives me the place," and then they just have dialogue about how Rhonda said it wrong.
Yeah, like this is my first chance to say it. I don't know. It was very
Yeah,
weird.
like Rhonda says it's like the first time they've ever had the chance to like say this place gives me the creeps, but they fucked it up in like their, I guess, enthusiasm. It's just real weird. And then they run into some rats, which are, again, these puppets that are essentially just like felt rat statues.
Like Halloween
Yeah,
decorations.
that they just are on like long black sticks.
They say, "We are rats." Fuck yeah.
I was, God damn it, I was editing the Tales from the Crypt episode, and I forgot about like you doing the Team America song, which just again, just reminded me of that.
Gonna save the motherfucking day, yeah.
Oh my god, we're getting sued again.
Nah.
So these rats talk about how they are into butt cheesing, which is where you.
I mean, who isn't?
I mean,
honestly,
just more ways for us to promote Maple and cheese.
If you're listening to this podcast, you've definitely butt cheesed.
Yeah. So this also just makes me reminds me of Biodome. Because basically what they're doing is they eat cheese and then they have to smell each other's butts to guess what cheese it was. They just have this like they just have a back and forth between like Yomi and these rats, and as they like go away, they continue to play butt cheese, but the one rat's like, I can't guess it, and Yomi's just like, string cheese, and they're like, wow, you're really good at this. So string cheese comes back again for some reason. You cut back to in the house where Pluckmaster 1 is complaining that he's hurt, and Uncle Donnie is like trying to fix Muff, who got like injured in the fight, and Uncle Donnie like goes over and like just barely taps Pluckmaster 1 with like a wrench, which fixes it, and they like apologize to each other, where Pluckmaster 1 says he's sorry about Uncle Donnie's family dying. It's all just weird and more shit that didn't really need to be in the movie.
I still fucking hate you.
Like this, I think the first movie was literally like an hour long. I don't know why this one needed to be an hour and 40 minutes. Back in hell, Yomi and Rhonda like have to like pretend to be turkeys in front of these two like skeleton turkey guards, who one of them is talking about trying to get a blowjob from his turkey skeleton wife. And so they're pretending it's just them saying the word gobble as they walk past. In these,
maybe he's Rim Jobrick.
That's what it has to be. That's the only thing I could even think of.
Because he keeps saying, like, I gave that bitch a squirt of gravy or something like that.
Yeah, he says he gave, like, squirt of gravy on her face or some shit.
God damn it, Rim Jobrick.
So, like, they finally make it to where Turkey and Nibbler are at, and Turkey has this fucking machine that he places Nibbler as this DVD in. Not even, like, taking the DVD out, just the whole case on the fucking machine. And turns it on. I think at some point somebody calls the machine a turkey head mabob. And essentially this machine will just stream Thankskilling 2 into every head on Earth. So Turkey turns on the machine and you just get like a couple shots of people like dying. And
to more dance music.
Yes, to more techno. At this point, like, Yomi and Rhonda, like, confront Turkey, where Rhonda tells Turkey that he's a guy and gay, so that they slept together, so now Turkey's gay, and it's all gross.
Okay, because Turkey calls him, he's like, you are just a good piece of moon poon.
I do like the idea of you having to say all this stuff, though.
Down there's like, this is going to be the worst things I've ever said.
Then you are introduced to Franken Turkey, who is just.
You mean Blarth?
I could not understand any of what he says his real name is.
He says that he wants to be called Blarth.
Blarth.
Like,
oh.
Blarth. So like, I mean, I don't know what that joke came from, but
Blarth is the name of John Candy's character in Spaceballs, I think.
He was Marv.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all.
It's just short for Bartholomew.
But then Turkey like does call him Blarth, and he goes, "Oh, awesome! Yeah!" And there's like this really like loud music playing. I laughed at that part.
It's all extremely ridiculous.
You're ready to suck Blart's dick.
Rhonda is essentially like arguing with Turkey to distract him as Yomi like walks around the machine and just pulls Nibla out of it. And then she just runs over and grabs Rhonda and they go running off, which just leads to like a stupid chase with Frank and Turkey. They jump out of the fireplace, and as Frank and Turkey gets to the entrance of it, Muff is standing there and just shoots him right in the face with his fucking arm cannon. Yomi gets another vision of her mind saying that, like, tells her to go to the vortex. So as they get out, they realize they have to use Muff again to open the vortex to go into space. They come out, and Uncle Donnie and Yomi fist bump, but she's missing a hand. So he just, like, fist bumps her fucking, like, open wound, I guess.
Her little, like, Muppet nub.
They also realized that Rhonda was, like, essentially cut in half, and Muff is, like, distraught and, like, picks up Rhonda and, like, holds Rhonda to his chest, crushing her into his chest.
Just, like, flattens it. It's just...
He realizes that he, like, killed Rhonda and just shoots himself in the head with his arm cannon.
And Jefferson is like, hey, welcome to heaven.
Like, I don't know who you are, but hey, come up to heaven. It's pretty fucking genius.
I love it so much.
At this point, Turkey shows up to, like, get the fucking DVD back, as does a wise Turkey, who does a Lord of the Rings You Shall Not Peck, which cuts into the most bonkers thing in the entire movie, where it is just Turkey and wise Turkey in a fucking 8-bit video game.
I actually, no lie, would play that game.
Oh, hard agree.
Like,
I
I really
too.
like the way that they did it.
It's just so fucking random and makes no sense.
It was at this point that I had to, like, double check and make sure I had not done any drugs prior to viewing that I had forgotten about. Like,
Did you check your drug journal?
yeah, I was like, what brownies did I eat before I watched this?
It's a pretty, like, again, I would play the shit out of this, like a Thankskilling game on, like, an 8-bit version.
Like, Thankskilling Mortal
get on
Kombat.
So you kind of cut back and forth between this video game and then stuff happening in, like, the real world, quote unquote. Which is Uncle Donnie, like they put Muff back on his back with his legs in the air to, like, try and turn this vortex back on. Like, at some point, Rhonda comes back and is just, like, grows a new tail, because worms can do that, and turns the vortex back on.
One of the things I wrote, Uncle Donnie says, I don't have a PhD in ass vortexes.
I mean, should have gone to college, bro.
I wish I had a PhD in ass vortexes.
It's never too late to go back to school, kid.
Eventually, Turkey kills Wise Turkey in the video game, like cutting his head off with an axe. Nibla, like, is talking to Yomi about how he wishes he could be a turkey again because he misses his mom and getting bird baths from her. Like, Turkey, like, comes back and starts beating up Yomi and is, like, choking her out. And it cuts to Jefferson, who is just like, I don't know who you are, and won't allow her into heaven.
He says, oh, what's that, Yumi? Oh, you want to come into heaven? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah, I guess he does know who she is, yeah. Which is a pretty fucking genius joke on, like, how she can't get into heaven, so she has to, like, stay alive. Yomi sees the vision from Wise Turkey of, like, the wishbone, so she just starts stabbing Turkey with this wishbone. And she stabs him at one point and wishes he would go fuck himself, and he explodes. Very, very big lost opportunity of a scene of Turkey fucking himself.
It's a shame.
I think it's fine without.
I disagree. Could have had
You
like.
just have to wait for the sequel.
I think we saw it in the beginning.
Yeah. So Yomi and Nibla, like the vortex opens, and they're like Yomi and Nibla are gonna go into it, and Turkey's head, which is still alive, just like holding onto Yomi's ankle by the beak. And like they start kind of like flying up into the vortex, but Uncle Donnie is like holding Yomi by like the hand and like holding her in the air. She's like trying to get sucked into this vortex. Nibla pushes Turkey's head into the vortex, so he's like gone. They're still kind of like getting sucked in the vortex where Yomi sees her mind in it and thanks Donnie for showing her Thanksgiving and like says her goodbyes and shit and just flies up into the vortex and she's back home with her mind. Uncle Donnie is like crestfallen sitting on the ground about losing Yomi, and Rhonda just jumps up and like, starts singing a song.
Like a Randy Newman type, like, you're so sad because your friends are dead.
It's so good. And then it's just like Uncle Donnie has like the felt from like the cut off hand and it's just kind of like rubbing it, and like Rhonda's just like, oh, I was like, I could use that for a hat. Can I have that? And Uncle Donnie's just like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, oh,
he's
too
like,
soon?
oh, too soon.
And then, like, I think Uncle Donnie says something about like he knows that like now he has this purpose. He has to build Thanksgiving Land, and it cuts to the very next day, where all of Thanksgiving Land is built.
It was that easy. All he had to do was believe in himself.
He was motivated.
You find out that he has combined. He basically rebuilt Muff with parts of Pluckmaster, so now they are combined as the same character.
Muff Master.
Jefferson is. Yep, there you go. Thankskilling 4. We got Muff Master.
Gold.
I'll sell that to him for $10.
Jefferson is looking down from heaven on Thanksgiving Land, and just like says hi to it.
Aw, R.I.P.
And then Turkey just cuts into the screen and says, "Gobble gobble, motherfucker," and then it goes into the credits. And then oh, go ahead.
I thought this part was funny. I only watched this far because it says foul mouth producers, and then it gave everybody like a bad name. It was like Jordan, fuckface, Downey, and like stuff like that. I thought was pretty funny. But then I had to turn it off because I was like, what just happened to me?
So you missed Flowis's post-credits rap video?
Yeah, I did not.
It's
I did not watch the credits.
Amazing. I think I'm going to put that in as like a clip in the episode because it's pretty fucking funny. It's
Please.
really stupid.
Please, God.
You watched it, Kit?
Yes.
I was like, I just let it play because I was like, I don't know, like every once in a while, like that, like Space Clown had like a real weird one. So now I'll just like let shit play because sometimes there is, and I was pleasantly surprised with this one.
The name's Flowis, bitch, and I'm an old fucking rapper. Me and 30B, we tear it up at Tampa. We got a 3-prong glass of gangster Merlot, cause we be gangster heads and that's what gangster heads do. Boom shakalaka, ain't that what they say? I got a Glock with your name on it every day. Discount at McDonald's, I'd like me a McChicken. There's a hole in my box that you could stick a dick in. I'm a bingo queen, don't you ever forget. I'm like B-I-N when I go spit. Hairy and black, I like 'em big like King Kong. Pull my diaper to the side and just stick it. Snoop Lion. Sprinkle of wrinkle. Sprinkle of wrinkle, baby. I'm a great French kisser cause I don't have teeth. What I want for dinner, baby, is a pound of beef. Sprinkle of wrinkle, baby.
So if I'm not
Flo's really earned her name.
If I'm not too lazy and I don't run out of time, you will probably be listening to Flowis's rap song right now. But yeah, that's
I can only hope.
Thankskilling 3. a movie. Did anybody see like any news?
I have some news.
All right, go for it.
It's that Nick Cage is playing in a movie
Yeah, that was
about himself.
the news I was gonna say.
Nick Cage plays Nick Cage. No, I didn't really see a lot, to be honest. Like, I feel like since October's over, since Halloween's over, like, I haven't seen a lot of news. The only other thing that I saw was that the director of Jacob's Ladder is releasing a movie called Deep Water that has Ben Affleck, and it is described as a erotic thriller. So I'm not really sure what that means, but
I don't want to see Ben Affleck's dong.
It's apparently pretty big, so maybe you do.
So anyway, that's my only news, except I've also been seeing people talk about, since this comes out for Thanksgiving week, there's a movie, like a horror movie on Hulu called Pilgrim that everyone's been talking about.
I think it's part of that Into the Dark series.
Ugh. I'm gonna watch it anyways, so that's another thing seasonal thing you can watch.
I saw people being like, finally a Thanksgiving horror movie, and I'm like, fuck you. Thankskilling's been out since like 2008 or some shit.
But, I mean, the reviews have been pretty good, so we'll see. I'll watch it.
I haven't watched any of them. I've heard, like, they're a mixed bag of the Into the Dark movies, so...
I've watched a few, and I have not liked any of them, but I didn't realize it was a part of a series until... I forget what one I watched that I, like, trashed on the show before.
Yes, the school one.
Yeah, that was really bad. So, I don't know. This looks like... At least it has like a sort of original plot than like a person walks around killing high school students, because that's like every movie. So I don't know. Also, they just released the mock-ups for the Stephen King pop, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I didn't know if you saw that or not.
I sure did. I'm really excited.
I guess we haven't done it in a while, and this is the Thanksgiving episode. So, do you guys have anything you want to like shout out? You've been like enjoying lately?
Yes, I'm thankful for you guys.
God damn it, you're fired.
Aww.
Actually, I did want to know, I saw that Kit went and saw Dr. Sleep, and also, how is Death Stranding?
I'm very early into Death Stranding, so I'm not into any like crazy parts of it, but so far I'm enjoying it. I've seen a lot of people say this is like the boring part, but I find it pretty interesting, at least. I mean, it's walking, but like dangerous walking, it's weird, but I'm into it.
Yeah, walking is dangerous, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could fall and hit your head on your coffee table.
You could. You could stumble into a weird EDM thing. You don't know.
What is happening right now?
I don't know.
Were you walking, Nathan? Is that how you wound up here?
Yeah, I'm still pretty sure this is just like a Jacob's Ladder scenario, and I'm actually dying somewhere.
The roofers got you with the hammers.
That's right.
God. I had like a nightmare before this fucking roofer showed up, like maybe a week prior, of like my roof caving in, so it's been a long week.
That reminds me about the sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, that shit sucks.
Understatement of the year. It was not a good time.
It wasn't great. I used to have I'm not gonna divulge too much of it because it's like sort of a long story, but when I was still living in Virginia, but before we moved to Richmond, I was staying in a house that 100% weird shit happened all the time, and that's when I first started having sleep paralysis, and it was like the most terrifying thing ever. So
yeah, fuck that noise.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fun. That's why you should just not sleep like I do.
I mean, pretty much. Ever since I moved here, though, I've been fine, so.
Kit, do you want to shout anything out?
I'm gonna say Godzilla.
Hey, you've been rewatching all the Godzilla stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, I got that Criterion collection of the Showa era, so it's the first 15 Godzilla movies, and I
What-
I haven't seen most of those in ages, and it's been really wild rewatching.
What's your favorite?
Of all of those, probably Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, as it's probably better known.
Which
Ooh,
one has
nice.
the baby Godzilla?
Fuck.
I watched that on
What is one?
Svengoolie like a couple months back, and that is still my favorite because it's extremely stupid.
There's Son of Godzilla, but there's one before that.
Whichever
I
one
think.
has like the little kid that's like just has like puts headphones on and like goes to sleep and just wakes up in fucking Godzilla land. I still want to do the fucking the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie on this
Oh my god, I saw that in the theater.
with fucking Puff Daddy and Jimmy Page. Whatever fucking song that was on that soundtrack.
I don't know.
I'm gonna shout out two things. I'm gonna say go read Kit's Blood Incantation review because it's got the best opening line.
Hey, thanks.
I think you're biased because you're on the album art, so.
Yeah, I mean. And then my iPod died, so I've been having to use Spotify, and I've just been listening to a shit ton of Thursday. So go listen to Thursday, especially like their later era stuff before they broke up and got back together because it's real good.
Heck yeah.
All right, so next week will be our first Christmas movie that I picked. There's gonna going forward. I think for the most part we're each gonna pick a movie, and then whatever the fourth week will either be like if there's a holiday we'll try and find something around that or whatever, and I don't know, we'll pick something for a fourth week, but we'll have at least one pick from each of us and see whose is the worst. And I'm coming out of the gate strong with a movie on Prime called Sleigh Bells, Belles, that has a Santa Claus in it that is dressed like a biker because I think they're trying to rip off Santa's sleigh.
Like, the bell of the ball.
Damn prison Mike.
My recommendation is go watch The Office.
Yeah, so that's on Prime. I fully expect it to be absolutely terrible because it's a movie about cosplayers that are trying to fight a Krampus with a biker Santa Claus.
That sounds like something I would pick. I love it. I can't wait.
Alright, so other than that, just go follow us on Twitter at I Hope You Suffer and Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. Leave us a rating or review on iTunes.
Let us know if you eat mac and cheese for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just go to
Under that 5-star review.
Yeah, just leave us a bunch of reviews about whether you eat mac and cheese on Thanksgiving. So like iTunes has no idea what the fuck is happening. I'm not kidding. If anybody leaves us a review, I will send you a download code for our upcoming bonus episode. If it's just about like mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. You can.
We'll be thankful for you.
Well, Katie will be. Katie's gonna get to the bottom of this. It's gonna be her life's work of figuring this fucking mac and cheese out.
It will be. I will release a book soon.
Yeah, so follow us on that stuff. Go listen to Kit's other podcast, Riff Raff, which I gotta figure out how I'm gonna listen to now that my fucking iPod doesn't work because it's not on Spotify.
What's up with that?
Oh, I mean,
Because we play music,
yeah,
so
like if you,
we can't put it up on
yeah,
Spotify.
Spotify won't let you put like copyrighted music and shit on there, unless you just do like a small clip in like a podcast that's not specifically about it. You
Dumb.
follow Katie on Instagram at Werewolf Face and look at her ghost shark art.
I'm gonna repost it. Actually, I listened to the episode that came out today, and I was like, I should repost it.
And then you could go listen to my other podcast, Let Me Be Your Pot of Love, about mid-2000s VH1 reality shows. Whenever we get time to record another episode, Kit will be on the next one.
Yeah.
Where we're going to get to the bottom of what Kit's real name is.
I was thinking about that earlier today, actually. Like, no
I'm
lie.
pretty sure it's Kitmathy. I think Caitlin thinks it's Catherine.
I think it's Kidathan.
We talk about it
A solid guess.
a long time in the last episode for some reason. There's also
I love it.
you see a clip of Big Rick on Flavor of Love wearing a tux with no sleeves that I call a kit tuxedo.
I need that.
So for some reason,
bad.
you are a very big topic of conversation on that podcast. Yeah, follow all that stuff. I hope you suffer, but why?
Apple cheese.
But cheesin'.